What if ships could sail over mountains? China didn't just ask the question, they built the answer. Introducing the Goupitan Shiplift, a $7.7 billion mega elevator that hauls 10,000-ton vessels straight up a mountain. That's right, this steel leviathan lifts ships nearly 200 meters into the sky, the height of a 66-story skyscraper like a gravity-defying titan. But why build such a mechanical marvel in the first place? The reason goes far beyond moving cargo. It's a strategic masterstroke, solving one of China's toughest logistical puzzles. China's inland logistics are constantly at war with geography. Nowhere is that more extreme than Guizhou province, where the Wujiang River cuts through some of the most unforgiving terrain in Asia. Here, jagged limestone peaks jut up like dragon's teeth. Valleys plunge into deep chasms. When the monsoons arrive, gentle rivers turn into raging torrents. For centuries, locals called this region the mountain that devours men, a place of deadly landslides and vanishing paths. Before the Goupitan lift, trying to move goods through this natural fortress was, honestly, a logistical nightmare. Ships couldn't pass, trucks crawled through crumbling roads, and traditional canal locks, like those used around the world, were completely unfeasible. It would have taken 20 separate lock chambers to manage the nearly 200-meter vertical change. The result? Sky-high costs and agonizing delays. A single container shipment from Guizhou to Shanghai could take 2 weeks and cost 3 times more than it would from anywhere else in China. Investors stayed away. Local businesses suffered. Over 36 million people, more than many countries, were stuck economically isolated. Instead of bending the river to fit the trade, China flipped the equation. They adapted trade to the river. Enter the Goupitan Shiplift. This machine does in 2.5 hours what used to take 4 days. Imagine a ship the length of a football field entering a steel chamber. The gates seal shut, and 400-ton hydraulic doors lock into place. Then, the real magic begins. Massive pumps fill the chamber with water, cradling the ship inside a floating elevator. Empty, the chamber weighs 3,000 tons. Fully loaded, it tops 11,000 tons. Then, slowly, it rises. Not along a slope, straight up, lifting higher than the Statue of Liberty and the Great Pyramid combined. From inside, it's like something out of science fiction. The land falls away. Mountains stretch out beyond the shrinking valley. Through small windows in the chamber walls, you watch the river turn into a silver ribbon. Villages vanish into specks. At the top, the upper gates open. A massive artificial lake appears, where moments ago there was only sky. The ship sails on, as if it hadn't just performed an engineering miracle. At the heart of the lift is a floating fortress, a chamber 40 meters long and 12 meters wide, holding steel, water, and thousands of tons of cargo. But how do you safely lift something that heavy? Well, the answer is where mechanical force meets surgical precision. The lift rides along 4 massive concrete towers that double as guide rails and load-bearing spines. These towers are rooted 70 meters deep into bedrock, built to handle immense vertical force. Inside are redundant systems, cables, counterweights, and emergency brakes. 256 steel cables, each strong enough to tow a jumbo jet, guide the chamber upward. A gear rack climbing mechanism locks the entire system into place, ensuring no single failure brings disaster. These aren't ordinary cables. Each is made of 127 strands of ultra-high tensile steel, twisted with mathematical precision to maximize strength while keeping weight in check. Laid end to end, the total cable length would stretch over 80 kilometers. Interlocking metal teeth, engineered with millimeter-level accuracy, lift the entire structure vertically like, a skyscraper-sized gear. These teeth are crafted from a custom alloy, tough enough to handle enormous loads, yet elastic enough to absorb micro-vibrations that would otherwise rip the system apart. Safety is non-negotiable. A specialized nut-column shock absorption system handles tremors from wind, waves, even earthquakes. The entire lift must remain flawlessly balanced as it hauls thousands of tons of steel, water, and cargo skyward. Embedded sensors track every shift in real time, adjusting the lift mechanism automatically. Counterweights and hydraulic dampers ensure the structure remains stable and steady. Just one of these dampers holds enough hydraulic fluid to fill an Olympic pool and can absorb the force of a small meteorite impact. And the power? Staggering. The system consumes enough electricity to run a small city. Fortunately, much of that comes from the dam's own turbines. Backup generators stand ready to safely lower the platform if the grid fails. Each 30-minute lift cycle is a high-stakes ballet of engineering. One error, and 10,000 tons could collapse with catastrophic force. That's why 5 separate control computers constantly cross-check each other. If a single one reports an anomaly, the entire system halts immediately. This lift can operate 24 times a day, moving nearly 5 million tons of cargo per year. It's more than a shortcut, it's a turning point for Chinese inland trade. At first glance, the Goupitan Shiplift might look like a futuristic cargo elevator, but its real purpose lies deeper redefining China's internal economy. For years, Guizhou was stuck in economic isolation. The same mountains that made it scenic also made it slow. Trade was expensive, industries stagnated, and with GDP per capita trailing coastal provinces by more than 2/3, Guizhou lagged behind in the national race. But now, it's plugged directly into the Yangtze River system, the central artery of Chinese commerce. Shipping costs have plunged by 67%, industrial output is up 42%, and foreign investment has surged 83%. Suddenly, industries once deemed unviable, tech, export manufacturing, large-scale agriculture are flourishing. Villages have become logistics hubs. Jobs in maintenance, operations, and support industries have multiplied. Even tourism has boomed, with visitors from across China and beyond coming to see what many call the eighth wonder of Chinese infrastructure. But here's the real power play. This project isn't just regional, it's strategic resilience. In a world where global shipping lanes could be disrupted by war, sanctions, or natural disasters, how does a nation of 1.4 billion people keep moving? The answer: internal circulation. China's strategy to build self-sustaining logistics systems completely independent of outside influence. The Goupitan Shiplift is part of a growing inland network, connected with the Three Gorges Dam, the South-North Water Transfer Project, and thousands of kilometers of navigable rivers. Together, they create a secondary trade route deep within China's borders. This aligns perfectly with China's dual circulation policy, which prioritizes domestic strength while maintaining global outreach. These megastructures, hidden behind mountain ranges, may prove more important than ports or skyscrapers. They're also part of climate strategy. With changing rainfall patterns and more extreme weather, controlling inland waterways is becoming crucial. The Goupitan system helps manage flooding, stabilize water flow, and keep trade routes open year-round, even in uncertain climate futures. This isn't just a machine, it's a safeguard, a signal, and a strategic move in a rapidly changing world. Was this built for efficiency, or to future-proof China's economic resilience? And it's not the end. China is already building similar shiplifts across its western provinces, taller, faster, more efficient. The Goupitan blueprint is now being exported. Engineers who worked on this project are now consulting on similar systems across Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and Africa as part of the Belt and Road Initiative. One radical idea has turned into a replicable model. If China can pull off this kind of gravity-defying engineering in the mountains of Guizhou, what comes next? Because while the world watches bullet trains blur past and skyscrapers climb the clouds, it's the quiet infrastructure buried in China's rivers, mountains, and valleys that may shape the next era of global power.